To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
What's up guys, I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi. This is Tech Today. We have an action-packed show for you. But wait.
Hey Aayush, it's me. Big surprise, we're shooting Tech Today in VR.
Clearly, the Tech Today team has a surprise lined up for me and for you, so that might change the course of this show, but we're going to have a lot of fun, so let's get started. Now, if you were interested in gaming, gone are the days when you had to invest in a big gaming rig. Of course, you still can, and we will get to that later. But now, laptops and even tablets have gotten so powerful, even your phones have gotten so powerful, that a lot of them can give you almost console-like experiences whilst gaming. Now, a gaming laptop is quite different from a traditional laptop. Why? I'll tell you what are the things that make it so special and why you should invest in one if you're interested in gaming, even if you're a noob gamer and even if you're a pro gamer. That just determines how much money you spend. But the question is, what makes gaming laptops so cool? Because they need to be cool, literally, if you're going to be indulging in some crazy levels of gaming on it. And there's a lot of ways in which you can actually use a gaming laptop for things other than gaming as well. For instance, if you're into video editing or photo editing, I think the gaming laptop gives you the perfect sort of mix between portability and performance. Take the HP Omen 16 for example. We've been using it for a while, a very recent launch from HP, and it is very good looking. So if you look at a laptop like the Omen 16, it is built for gaming enthusiasts. For example, it actually has some interesting thermals, a fantastic fan and windpipe technology. It's also got the 11th gen Intel Core processor and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series. Now, the Omen 16 is literally 16 inches. It's got an IPS panel that can go up to, I think, 165 Hz of refresh rate. Now, that's no mean feat. If you're playing a battle royale game or you're playing one of those shooting games, a high refresh rate is very important. These lights out here are customizable. You can actually choose which light you want where, so it gives you that really cool sort of setup. You can choose different regions for that sort of lighting setup, and I really find that very cool. And it's got a very interesting three-way cooling system out here, which ensures that, well, this technology is patented by them, that it's actually, well, an exhaust and a sort of a vent, because it's going to be generating a lot of energy and dissipating a lot of energy, and that's what a gaming laptop like this does. Now, if you want to enjoy your gameplay, it's got to be a very immersive sort of an experience. And with this laptop, you have a QHD 165Hz IPS panel, a 3-meter-second response time, a low response time, and of course, it's flicker-free and color-accurate low blue light with a special technology that actually means it strains your eyes a lot lesser. Look, the main reason that someone would invest in a gaming laptop or a smaller device is portability. So if you're in the market for a gaming laptop, or you're buying someone in your family, your son or your brother or sister, well then look at portability. This at 16 inches, the fact is I can take it on the sofa while I'm sitting out there maybe without its peripherals, or I could even take it to my bedroom, I could take it to my study table here on the set, and I can still use it. Not only for gaming, guys, you have to also do some productivity tools on it as well if you're not becoming a pro gamer and making money out of it. And you can do a lot more on this laptop or a laptop. They have similar ones, rivals from Asus, ROG, Zephyr laptops. There's one really cool one which has a dual screen by them. A lot of them also have very high specifications when it comes to RAM, storage, and of course the processor. These things matter a lot, and the graphics card that comes with the laptop, that matters a lot as well. Well, do remember, if you're buying a gaming laptop and you're choosing it for portability and the fact that you can use it all over the house or wherever you're going and traveling, this is portable gaming power. It will last on a single charge for maybe 7 to 8 hours, 9 hours. Even the Asus ROG ones are quite interesting, and we're going to be reviewing them on other episodes of Tech Today. Let us know in the comment section if you're watching somewhere, or write to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn if you're interested, especially in the peripherals and geeky stuff like graphic cards. But that is a big issue, because if you're just going there and gifting it to someone, this is going to come as is. There's not much customization over time that you can really do unless you've assembled it. That's why a lot of people buy gaming rigs or proper PCs, gaming PCs. You spend a lot more money, they're a lot more customizable, and with time, you can actually upgrade them, the same original investment that keeps reaping rewards over time. And that's a great way to actually start your gaming career, or, well, your tryst with gaming. I think the fact that this gives you one solution, well, a gaming laptop wins there. My 2 pence, I don't use a laptop much unless it's a big Zoom meeting with several participants and you want to find all of them on that screen, or you're doing some advanced video editing. Apart from that, I can manage very well with my tablet and of course a magic keyboard. That's how I get by with my day. And of course the 10% that I use my laptop, and then there's a little bit that I do on my phone as well. I think that manages to make the cut for me. But if I was a little more serious into gaming, and I'm not, then I would invest in a good gaming laptop. I think it's way better and more portable and perhaps takes up lesser space and energy than, well, a gaming PC. That said, I've always been into consoles, but before we talk about consoles or figure out what's happening in the metaverse, I also want to talk about gaming phones, because this is also another way in which you can get your gaming, well, urges satiated by not spending that much money. This is the Asus ROG Phone 5. The 5S is out as well, but we've been using this for a while and it's been quite popular over the past year. And it's quite interesting to use something like this as well. The chips on these phones are fantastic. They're flagship. They have interesting, nifty features around in terms of hardware and software that make them better than flagships if you're into gaming. For example, the Asus phones have Snapdragon 888 chipsets in them. Even last year, that's as good as, well, maybe a Samsung Galaxy Ultra or even an iPhone, even better than an iPhone in many aspects, for gaming at least. And then they have these hardware features that make it really cool. Now imagine some of their phones actually give you 18 GB of LPDDR5 RAM. Now that is stuff that video editors would be happy with, multitasking to another level in terms of peak overall gaming performance. Obviously they have good displays with 144Hz and maybe a touch sampling rate of even 300Hz on this phone. AMOLED displays, of course, which have been made by Samsung. But really the cool part is what's built for gamers. And the difference in actually picking up maybe a OnePlus phone or a Samsung phone, which are great phones under the hood as well, but they're not built for gaming. What this phone does is very interesting. So this phone actually has an air trigger control system and also now has 2 extra physical buttons, which actually make this phone a lot like a genuine console-like gaming experience. The buttons are interesting. It becomes quite a big clunky phone, but now you've bought it for gaming. It's under 70,000 rupees or around 50 to 70,000 rupees depending on what amount of RAM you want. And frankly, with this chipset and anything on the mobile store and the Google Play Store would actually give you a bunch of games, a lot of them for free, and with high performance as well. It also has these hidden rear touch sensors on the back cover, which also give you this sort of L2 R2 like trigger function. It just makes it like a game console controller. You can also use these as shortcuts when you're not gaming on the phone. Now ROG phones are also famous for this ARMOURY Crate app, which gives you a lot of options to actually tweak system performance to absolute perfection. They have these really cool features. You can play around with haptic audio, and the haptic is really cool on this. A lot of cool AR sort of integrations as well. Well, there you go now. If your budget is 50 to 70,000 rupees, you want to replace your everyday smartphone, there are options in the market which are quite interesting when it comes to innovation as well. If your budget is over a lakh and you're also into weightlifting, well, then you have these big gaming laptops which do a lot more in the multimedia world. Remember, investing in these devices means you have better displays, more RAM, better processors, so it's better performance as well. And there are quite some few nifty, well, hardware and software hacks to make your gaming life and performance a whole lot easier. Now, I want to discuss console gaming as well, because that is very close to my heart. That is where I put all my money over the years whilst gaming, and a lot's happening in the cloud gaming world as well, and the metaverse, which is all about virtual reality. And from the start of this show, I realized the Tech Today team wanted to surprise me in virtual reality. What's up?
Well, Aayush, I'm not sure if you actually like surprises, but given that I'm shooting here today in virtual reality at zero latency, should be pretty exciting for you. Now, Zero Latency is really a pioneer and a global leader in multiplayer, free-roam, virtual reality entertainment. If you ask me though, if I'm in an environment where I'm interacting with zombies or monsters or aliens or even each other with friends, it sounds a little bit like the metaverse. I'm not sure what to expect though, so I'm gonna go figure it out. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow! Okay. Oh my god! I'm about to fall myself. Parinitha Rajgarya is a massive VR enthusiast and the brains behind bringing zero latency to Mumbai. She explains how the state-of-the-art technology is a big step in bridging the gap between virtual reality and the metaverse.
This is what virtual reality is about at zero latency.
How did you think to do this? How did you think to get into all of this in India?
I tried this in 2019, January, especially that time when no one was talking about metaverse, no one was talking as much about VR because it had not really taken off. So that is where I started exploring and I was like, okay, why not? Let's try getting this to India. And India is the market for it.
The hot word these days is meta, right? And the metaverse. How would you say zero latency, sort of combines the two of virtual reality and the metaverse?
Metaverse is largely removing the physical boundaries and making people meet socially in virtual worlds. That's in a layman's term of what metaverse means. However, it's still evolving, right? Whether you have to come to an arena or whether you can do it from the comfort of your home, all that is being explored. So that's what we have brought in. So for metaverse, VR is the main component, okay? Because you will need virtual reality to get into the virtual world. In the same way, we have done away with the traditional VR wherein there was a single player, stationary at a place, playing alone, things like that. Here, how you can see, we are socially meeting each other in the virtual world. We are talking to each other, we are playing together, we are experiencing things together. So that's what metaverse is about and that's how zero latency is almost there. So I wouldn't say this is completely what meta is, but yes, we are like 70% there because it has most of the elements of what metaverse needs.
Oh wow, I mean, that was just surreal, right? You're in this world and, it's literally at some points we've been upside down. Yeah. There's been the sky and the ocean and you're just lost in that world. It's unbelievable. So Aayush, I know you've been super busy playing around with gaming laptops and mobile phones, but what do you have to say about this experience?
Guys, I promised you this is your one-stop shop for gaming this week. This is a special episode and that's why you can't do a gaming special without talking about console gaming. Now this with me is the Xbox Series X, which I've been using for a while, and I'll confess that all my life I owned a PlayStation and I loved my Sony PlayStation, but then Microsoft has taken the next jump according to me in the metaverse with the Activision acquisition as well, which was like $68 billion, and not just that, also with Xbox Game Pass. I'll get to Xbox Game Pass in a bit. Just a quick word on a PlayStation 5 versus an Xbox Series X debate. Both consoles from Microsoft and from Sony are fantastic. They almost match each other out on every count. 120 FPS is what they support. That's a high refresh rate. So the technology question you should be asking is not whether I should get the Xbox or the PlayStation, both of which are not that easy to get all over the world based on the chip shortage. It's been tough to get your favorite consoles. The question you should be asking is, which TV should I get and is it good enough for gaming? In a nutshell, your TV should support 120Hz refresh rate. Simple. Because these guys are now compatible with 120Hz. That means games coming up every few weeks and months will soon become 120Hz. 120Hz will soon become the gold standard for gaming. That means a high refresh rate TV, which are very expensive currently in the market. Now, if you're worried about different technologies by manufacturers, that's for another episode. But your TV should also have an HDMI 2.1. What does that do? It's a connectivity option which these guys connect with and then give you that high performance and high graphics capabilities. If you're picking between the two consoles, there's another question you should be asking, which is which exclusive titles matter to me? If you're tied down to the Sony titles, which is games like Uncharted, or to Microsoft's Halo or Forza, then you need to decide which exclusive titles you want. Now, they both offer you, games in that category, but some people prefer the Microsoft way of doing things. Some people prefer the Sony way of doing things. That's totally your personal choice, but you should be sure which particular exclusive titles matter to you. The Microsoft Activision deal is also a game changer because there's some massive investment going into the metaverse and Microsoft's version of it. And that's not the future. It feels like it is the present and it's here to stay. But another thing you should consider is the cloud gaming services. That's the future of gaming and the immediate future of gaming, where Microsoft is offering a very, very formidable proposition in the form of Game Pass. If you're playing on both consoles and you want a digital-only version, that's available as well. You don't need these disk drives on them, so to speak. They become a little more compact as well and a little cheaper for you. Now, like I said, cloud gaming is a big deal, and if you want to be on consoles, you want that same service on your phones, on your tablets, and on your laptops, then cloud gaming is an option. But of course, you need to invest in a good Wi-Fi connection, a good broadband connection. If that is in place, Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass is a game changer. Now, I play all sorts of games on the Game Pass. You can get earlier ones as well. You can always purchase the newest games, but there's a plethora of options on Game Pass Ultimate. I can use that cross-device, cross-platform. So I've also been using it on my PC. I've been using it also on my tablet. So that is a very nifty feature to have if you want this sort of a uniform, consistent gaming experience. Microsoft gives you that. Xbox Game Pass is at, I think, 700-800 rupees for 8 months. This is a special deal nowadays, and I think that makes it so cheap because largely games on these consoles otherwise cost around 3,000 to 4,000, even 5,000 rupees sometimes, especially the new titles. So Xbox Game Pass and Microsoft's vision of what they're doing with gaming in the metaverse is something that is very interesting. Final verdict, all in all, you can't go wrong with the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. They're fantastic consoles, great tech at play, but the truth is it's almost impossible to get your hands on a PlayStation nowadays. So the Xbox with Game Pass for me looks like an interesting proposition. Now, please leave me alone and let me play with my favorite team, Liverpool. I'm playing FIFA, one of my favorite games on any console or PC or even on mobile. I love playing it and I love beating these other small teams with this particular team. But if I wanted to be a pro gamer, what would it take? Could this be a legit career option? And how on earth do you build a gaming studio which can make you the big bucks? Well, you go find out and I'll play my game.
Well, Aayush, whilst you're busy playing video games on your console just for fun, I'm on a mission to figure out how the pros do it. We're talking professional level gamers and streamers who have a massive fan base and make a ton of cash whilst doing it. So today we'll get a masterclass from Rani Dasgupta, who's one of the country's biggest and most entertaining gamers. Let's go. What does it take to get there for a newbie who's just starting out? What does it take?
What you need is to have like a passion, do what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love making videos.
Yeah.
Regardless of the video being good or bad, I love it. Even if a video is bad, it's usually demotivating for people that the video did not get enough numbers. But then if you really love making the videos, you will do it over and over again.
Let's talk a little bit about the gaming aspect of things, because you've been a gamer, you are a gamer and you stream. How does that work?
I have a fancy setup now, but starting out I did not have, and you can start out with anything. There are people who make gaming videos just out of your phones.
Right.
There is so many games. There is BGMI, this game that is on the phone,
Yeah.
and people make videos, they play the game on the phone, they record the game on the phone, they edit it, upload from the phone.
What do you need to make the magic happen that you put out every day? Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, sure. Let's go take a setup tour.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
do it. So Rani, I guess each content creator has their own setup and their own set of things that really helps them, to make their content. So what's your setup all about?
It starts with these two monitors, as you can see.
Yeah.
This is my main monitor on which I play all the games. This is like the proper gaming wala monitor that I have.
Okay.
And this is like a 240 Hz monitor.
Okay.
And this is a secondary monitor which I use while I'm, suppose I'm playing a game and I'm recording at the same time. So on this monitor I'm playing the games, and
Yeah.
on this monitor I'm actually checking how the recording is,
Okay.
how my camera is looking and everything. This is my HyperX keyboard, and this is a mouse, and this is a mechanical keyboard. And the good thing about a mechanical keyboard is when you type on it, it makes a very clicky and a very satisfying noise. So,
Let's hear it.
so if you just do this,
That is nice.
it
Old
feels
school.
so good. This is a pretty standard mouse which has a few more buttons than the usual mouse, and these buttons can be used for anything. Like for in the game, if you want to set something to talk to your friends, if you're talking, you can use this button to talk to your friends. You can use this button as a reload button. So one little thing that a gaming mouse can do is it can switch the DPI,
Okay.
and DPI means dots per inch. If you try to move the mouse, you can see how quickly and how easily it moves.
Yeah.
But if you press this button, the DPI switches and then try to move it.
Oh wow.
For audio, I have my headset, which is a wireless headset that I use. This is from SteelSeries, and this headphone I've always wanted my whole life. So a mic is not something that you would need if you are just playing games. You can just use the mic that the headphone comes with. They all come with a mic.
Sure.
But this mic I have for making my videos.
Yeah.
And this is a Shure SM7B, which is called as the legendary podcast mic. And this is also one of the things that I always wanted as a kid, and I could finally afford it. But the thing with this mic is, this mic doesn't just go as a mic. You have to buy a lot of different things with the mic.
Right.
So there's this mic, and this cable plugs into this thing which is called as a cloud lifter. And then on the cloud lifter, it goes into an audio interface, which is the Behringer M2. I guess that's the name. The CPU is actually the most expensive thing that I have here.
Of course.
And it's a custom build. It has all the different elements built into it.
Wow.
So the CPU has a Ryzen 5. It has a NVIDIA RTX 3080, and it has 64 gigs of RAM.
Well, Ronnie, thank you so much. It's fantastic
Of course.
what you've achieved and what you've put together. Thanks for all of these tips.
Thank you.
Ayush, I think you have a little bit of competition now, and I'm going to take you on very soon. Your cloud gaming is not going to be enough after the tips that I've learned today. So I'm going to see you soon.
Well, so the next time an uncle or auntie from your neighborhood asks you saying, "Beta, kya karna hai? Will you become a gamer?" You can answer in the affirmative because you've heard it from a pro gamer here on Tech Today. In fact, we've tried to cover the whole gamut: AR, VR, the metaverse, console gaming, these really cool gaming phones, and of course, well, these really heavy laptops which are also quite feature loaded. We wanted to get you the full lowdown on gaming. Is it a legit career option? And answer some of these questions. If you've liked this episode or not liked something, please do write into us on our social media handles. I'll be here very soon again next week. Until then, adios.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.